going on, guys? Griffin Dahlberg here at Twin Cities Peppers. Today we got another exciting tips and tricks video for you. We're going to be going over crossing peppers. So I'm going to bring you down to the garden, kind of show you and explain what we're going to be doing. We're going to come back up here and get a close-up view of how I do this. So let's get into it. Alright guys, we're down at my TS Moruga Yellow. Very big plant, and we like the traits of this. So let's say we wanted to cross it with a Scotch Brain, for example. What I'll typically do is I'll cross it both ways. I'll take the pollen from the Scotch Brain, add it to one of the flowers here, and I'll also do the pollen from the TS Moruga Yellow and add it to the flowers of the Scotch Brain. So when we add Scotch Brain pollen to a TS Moruga Yellow, that means the TS Moruga Yellow is the host plant, so it would be called a TS Moruga Yellow times Scotch Brain. So the first plant name in there is always going to be your host plant or your parent plant. Alright guys, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to go back up to the table. I'm going to show you kind of what we need. I'm going to do most of it up at the table just for ease of filming. And just imagine that you're back here at the plant. But what I am going to do down here is show you kind of how I collect the pollen from, let's say, the Scotch Brain, since we're going to do a Moruga Yellow times Scotch Brain. And I'll show you how I collect that pollen. But first, let's go up and see what we're going to need. Alright guys, so we're back up at the table here. I've decided to take the pollen from the Scotch Brain down at the garden. But first off, I'm going to show you exactly what we need to proceed here. Number one is a toothbrush that is electric. You can buy a cheap one. This is my expensive one. I just put on a head that I obviously don't brush with. This is just for gardening purposes. But you're going to need that toothbrush to get the pollen. Or if you wanted to, you could just take a flower and kind of rub the pollen on the pistil of the other one. But I found that to be a little bit more difficult. Next up, you're going to need a collection vessel or cup. I use this plastic shot glass, and just kind of get the pollen on the inside of this rim right here. You're also going to need something to cut open the parent plant flower and ensure that there's no pollen from that flower getting onto that flower. So you're basically going to cut away the petals and just expose the pistil on the inside. And you're going to need a Q-tip, as well as some sort of bag to isolate the cross once you add the pollen. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of one of my crosses. This is a cross between a purple pumpkin and a peach reaper. You can see it kind of got the color from the peach reaper. There are many different phenos on the plant. I actually grew two of them out. One of them got a different shape than the other. One looks more like a purple pumpkin, and one is kind of more elongated. So when you do grow out seeds from the same pepper, a lot of times you'll get different phenos of that cross. So you can just kind of choose what you like and then proceed to grow that out in the future seasons. So I'm going to go back down to the garden. We're going to grab the pollen from the Scotch Brain, and then I'm just going to find a opening or unopened flower from the TS Moruga Yellow. So let's go down to the garden and grab that pollen. Alright guys, so we're down at this Scotch Brain plant. We're just going to find some flowers that are opened. Put the flower kind of on the inside of that cup and just buzz, okay? I'm gonna do that 3 or 4 times. What this is doing is also pollinating these flowers on here, so it's not gonna hurt them. this is also a good way to see if you have pests. If you do have pests, the pests are going to fall into the cup, so that'll kind of give you an indication of what's going on within your plant. So it's kind of a good kill two birds with one stone type scenario. And guys, it's not always horrible to have these pests. They are going to be there a lot of the time, but you know, there's only so much you can do, and a lot of the flowers will get past that and pollinate, so it's not always the end of the world. But that looks like we got some good pollen in there. You can see the yellow kind of on the rim, and if you hold it up in the sun, you can also see some more pollen. And a lot of times it'll kind of go up on this crack here, or on this ledge here, and yeah, we got some good pollen. I'm gonna do one more here and then we can go back up to the table. Okay guys, so we're back up at the table now. This is when you get to see how dirty my fingernails are and how shaky my hands are. So I do apologize, but I am a gardener, so the fingernail thing is just kind of a way of life here. So what I'm going to do here, this is the flower from the TS Moruga Yellow, the parent plant, that we're going to cut open and add pollen to. So just imagine this is on the plant. So you see how it's kind of cracked open there. That's exactly what you want to see. What we're going to do here is carefully cut away the petals first. And what you're trying to keep intact is the pistil in the middle. So what I've found is these pollen sacs will just break off. If you bend them outwards. Okay, so that looks pretty good. You can see the pistil in the middle. Now what we're going to do here, take our pollen. Obviously we're at the plant right now. Just for sake of me filming this, we're going to sit here and do an example. I like to kind of fluff up my Q-tip a bit. Get one area that you're going to put the pollen on. It's usually just the top, and I do right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this pollen here. You can see it's kind of wiping up there. There, you can see it on the Q-tip, so that's a good sign. And then we're going to go back to our flower that we just cut the petals off of. And very gently kind of stick that Q-tip down and over that pistil, right where we saw the pollen, right where we rubbed it. What you can also do is take the flower from the Scotch brain and just kind of rub it on there. But I've had better success with the Q-tip, as well as, this is kind of tough and touchy, but you can kind of put the flower into the cup and kind of rub it on there. I've done that a few times as well. So the next thing you're going to want to do, once you have that pollen on that pistil, I'm going to write TSMY times SB. And I will do 3 or 4 of these at a time, typically, just to ensure I get something that is actually going to stick. But I actually made these bags out of like larger bags. I have like seed bags that I have, and I cut them in half and I put them in my vacuum sealer and sealed up the sides and the bottom. And then you want to cut off that big flap of plastic just so it doesn't go up and touch the stem of the plant above where the flower ends. It typically will break off at that point. So what you're going to want to do is carefully put that over the flower and just seal both sides. You don't need to seal it all the way up to the stem, but just seal both sides, and this will hang from that plant, and hopefully, if all goes well, you'll get a cross. So proceeding that cross, you're gonna take that pepper. It's not gonna look any different the first year. It's gonna look like the parent plant pepper, but take those seeds, grow them out. So the first pepper that you take the seeds from, that's F1. Second one is F2. So I'd grow that seed out, that would be F2. And then F3, F4, F5. When you're getting up towards the F4, F5, you're getting quite a bit more stable. So you're gonna pick exactly what pepper shape you like, color you like, traits you like, and grow that one out year after year until it's a stable plant. All right, guys, if you like that video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. My channel does too. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be back soon with another update, so stay tuned and happy gardening.